Hey guys, it's Michelle,
Leah,
I'm Brandy,
and this is Spooky Shit and Tales from the Beyond.
I never know how to start.
hello.
So today's...
This is Brandy.
They should recognize my voice.
I hope so.
So this week's topic is curses. What is a curse, you mean?
I was gonna say, what's a curse?
Never heard of it.
Sorry if we sound muffled. We're wearing masks except for Leah because she's inconsiderate. Had to do it to him.
No comment. I plead the fifth.
Anyways, a curse... Curse you. I'm just kidding.
Wow, Brandy, curse you too, okay?
Funniest joke Brandy's ever said.
Wow.
It was a little lame, but I said it.
That's the peak of your comedy career.
Whew. Thank you. A curse is any expressed wish that some form of adversity or misfortune will befall or attach to one or more persons, a place, or an object. It was a lot of
You
words.
curse an object?
Yeah.
No, that seems right. Yeah, never mind. Checks out.
Think Harry Potter, Michelle.
Yeah.
Random fun fact that I found. A
Okay.
curse is known by 8 other names,
Okay.
which include some really long names that I'm probably going to mispronounce.
Let's go.
Let's just do it, bro.
Imprecation, malediction, execration, malicin, anathema, combination, hex or jinx.
Oh, you
Those
got
are
the
the
last
easy
two,
ones.
though.
It's very bold of you to make that list at all. I would have just ignored it.
I thought about it, but I thought it was kind of cool that I had 8 other names. I mean, hex and jinx I've definitely heard, but the other words I'm like, what the fuck?
You also know, knowing us, that we would have asked immediately right
What
after.
are
What
they?
are the names?
Yeah, exactly. I tried. I'm pretty
Thank
sure
you.
I butchered all of them, though.
You did, low-key, but it's okay.
Gee, thanks. Curses are usually referred to being a sort of magic / witchcraft, and often accompanied by a ritual or prayer.
Cradle.
Forgive me. I can't English.
Forgive me, Father.
For I have sinned. Okay, so now I'm gonna move on to the types of curses.
Okay.
Maybe you guys can help and throw some examples you guys
I'm just
know.
listening.
Okay.
I'll try to give some examples.
Alright, so the first type is family, which is kind of given. It's when a curse is put on the entire family. Usually, like, the whole bloodline, or, like, to go on for
So, like,
generations.
Anastasia.
If you listen to our last episode, I mentioned that there is a possible Kennedy curse.
yes.
They even have their own Wikipedia page, so I guess
Mine
that's
was
an example
Mine
there.
was a cartoon family.
Okay, or Michelle's. What was yours, Michelle?
Anastasia.
Anastasia, yes. That is
He's
good.
like-
Really? It was for the whole bloodline, though?
I think so. Except
Oh.
for she got away and he came back to find her.
Oh, here we go.
That's true.
Yeah.
Alright. Type number 2 is the mother curse. The curse thrown by a mother on her child.
Dang.
Which
Your mom
this
said,
one-
I hate you.
I mean, when I first read it, I thought it was more like a mother, like, lost her child, and I thought of it, like, really much, like, a lot. Really much.
Really much.
I thought about it a lot, and I was like, oh, like, mother lost her child and then threw a curse, but I guess it's like she actually put a curse on her child.
She fucking hates her child.
Yeah, that sucks.
Damn.
Then the third is the personal, which is obvious. It's just it's made specific to one person.
Yeah.
The fourth is national, which is the nation or a tribe is cursed.
That's a...
So it's pretty much
That's
like
a really big-ass
huge-
curse.
Yeah, that's what I didn't say. Where's that? The fifth one is to curse oneself as a form of punishment.
That is
which
some
is the
emo
own curse,
shit.
right?
So you thought you were emo then.
Just
Bet you never cursed yourself.
Only true emos now.
6. The sixth curse is when one's house is cursed. Which, what?
Kind of like a haunting.
Yeah,
Like a haunted house?
Yeah.
Cursing the house.
Okay.
So like a resident who lived there before you could have cursed the house for all the tenants that shall enter it after.
It's like the
Yeah.
Bell Witch. Whenever she is like, you guys took this land for cheap, and then as she was
you're
dying,
right,
she's like,
yeah.
I cursed your land.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of like that.
That was
Good example.
personal and land.
Michelle, what
kinda
episode was
lineage.
that from? In case our listeners don't know.
It was called, I don't know the episode
Some-
number, but it was like witches and so much slapping or something.
Yes.
There's so
no,
much,
it was
there's
3
a lot of,
bitchy witches and
of
so much
course,
slap.
3 bitchy witches.
Excuse Michelle.
There's a lot of bitch slapping in it. It's pretty fucking funny.
And lastly, number 7 is the penal.
The pee-pee.
A curse as a form of punishment for offense done by not skillful magician.
What?
What do you
I don't
mean?
really get that one.
I don't get that one.
Wait,
Like,
Okay,
are you cursing the bad magician?
they're
Yeah.
cursing you.
You're like, you suck. I'm gonna curse you.
Pretty much.
For being such a
That's what I
dipshit.
understood. To perform a curse, you basically need to say a whole ass prayer / do a big ritual
Okay.
to ask a higher power for help and get what you want. That's pretty much my interpretation.
How are you gonna talk to a higher power and be like, God, help me fuck up this person's life?
I mean, not
And
just
God's like,
God.
I got you.
I don't know if they're necessarily always praying to God, Michelle.
Yeah.
Hey, Satan.
I think now is a great time in the podcast for me and Michelle to talk about our babysitter when we were in the 5th and 6th grade.
Was
Yeah.
she evil?
No, she was also only like, oh, she was 3 grades above us. We also had a babysitter at one point who was 1 grade above me. And I'm like,
Yes.
is this necessary?
Isn't that funny how parents do that?
Yeah.
It's like, bro, they're barely
she's 12 and I'm 11. Like,
like,
what,
wow.
why?
But anyway, she was a Satanist, and
She was as much of a Satanist as a 13-year-old can
yes,
be.
she was like emo. She was the type that maybe she cursed herself. But when she babysit us, I remember she would take me and Michelle into a dark room, and she would ask us to list 5 evil things in the room.
I don't
We would
remember
always
this.
jokingly be like, you, and then she'd start chasing us around, screaming. Michelle, what did she do to your diary?
She broke into my diary that I won at the boardwalk in Santa Cruz, that bitch.
She just ripped it open, and she didn't babysit us for very long. I remember our mom said she fired her because my mom was driving her home after she got home from wherever she was, and what did she say?
She told her she believed in witchcraft.
Oh yeah, I feel
And
like
I don't know why
brought
mom
up so
took that
random.
so seriously from like a 12-year-old. She's like, oh my god, you can't babysit.
Wouldn't you though? I'd be like, that's a
I
creepy
guess
ass
so.
child.
Some teenagers are weird. But also some
Well,
good things.
especially if you already get a vibe from her. Like, I don't
true.
think your mom just was like,
She
oh,
has psychotic vibes for
But
sure.
she would bring over brownie mix, and we just eat brownie mix before making them into brownies.
I only remember.
I remember
the bad.
that and not the evil thing.
I only, for some reason, can remember the bad and her chasing us and screaming.
yeah, that's kind
It was intense.
Okay, like you wouldn't do that to me.
Yeah, that was later on, Michelle.
of... That's different, though. She's your sister, but, like, for your babysitter to do that?
It was odd.
It's different.
She was odd.
Unless the only reason, like, she should be chasing you is if you're playing tag. This is just my opinion. I feel like curses mostly happen as a form of envy or revenge and can also be seen as bad luck rather than a curse.
Big true.
Yeah. I mean, because a lot of people, if you don't believe in curses, you're just going to think that that person has just like a spell of bad luck. And
Yeah, or like more
it's just
like
always
a
coincidence.
superstition type thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Which is perfect for what the curse I'm going to talk about.
Oh, what are we talking about?
Brittany's got a long one, you guys. Just
No, it's
hold
super
on.
short.
It's 7 pages. As long as my Marilyn Monroe was last
Not
week.
even, bro.
God.
It's so short. So I'm going to talk about the curse of the Bambino.
Bambino?
From Sandlot?
Because
I don't even understand the reference. I just know.
I told you earlier.
Yep.
Well, the curse of the Bambino was a superstition evolving from the failure of Major League Baseball's Boston Red Sox to win the World Series for a total of 86 years, from 1918 to 2004.
Wow, I know
Dude,
nothing
that's-
about baseball. I didn't know
I don't
that was even
either.
a stat.
It's like a huge ass thing. Like, they literally could not win for
Oh my
like, their life.
god.
It all started when the Red Sox traded Babe Ruth to the New York Yankees in 1920. At the time, Babe Ruth, hopefully you guys know who that is.
I know who
Yeah,
Babe Ruth
okay.
is.
That's the only baseball player I know.
I eat
Duh.
candy.
He has the candy bar named after him. Duh.
The doy.
Adoy.
He was known as the Bambino, and he was one of
Oh, I didn't know who Babe Ruth was.
He was one of baseball's greatest hitters and had helped the Red Sox win the World Series in 1918. So that's 2 years before they traded him.
Yeah.
You want to know why they traded him?
Because he lost that 1 year. And they
No.
said, fuck you, bitch.
No.
He became really successful at his candy making business and they couldn't afford it. He wanted more.
No, it was because the owner of the Sox team at the time, Henry... No, not Henry. It's Harry.
Same thing.
Same difference.
H's, whatever.
Yeah. Harry Frazee? Frazee. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Sounds like a very...
Fuzzy.
Frazzy. I'm don't know what I
Boston
meant by
accent?
that. I don't know what it
I
was.
think it was.
Okay.
Okay.
Michelle's a Yankee.
Anyways. Wait, this is the Red Sox team, though.
Idiot. Boy, does she sound fucking stupid right now.
Anyway.
Boston accent. I said Boston accent at first. I was just listing some accents, okay?
Okay. Anyways, he needed money to pay for his girlfriend's Broadway musical called No No Nanette.
No, Nanette.
Yet.
No, Nanette. That's how much
Nanette.
Many fans believe the musical was such a disaster that it left the Sox cursed to lose for almost a century.
Yo, I didn't know that.
No,
Because
Nanette.
of a Broadway play?
Yeah, so he just needed money, so he traded Babe Ruth, and then that.
See, I like that they were supporting the play at least. They
Right?
tried.
But it didn't do so well.
It didn't do
so
so-
he lost a lot of money.
And they continued to not do so well.
Yeah, and then his team they could not win for
That's
a
fucking
total
funny.
86 years. That's
So-
fucking crazy.
This sounds depressing. They all ended up passing away before they ever saw a win.
What did they mention about him in The Sandlot?
No, they just say the Great Bambino.
Oh. Well,
Great movie, by the way.
that's not the dog, right?
Is that it?
It's the one with the
my
dog.
turn?
Yeah, that's it. Sorry.
Okay. No, it's okay.
I didn't end that really well.
So I'm gonna be talking about one of the more controversial movies of our. Whoa.
Whoa, this movie's
Controversial?
crazy.
Okay, it's crazy. I'm gonna be talking about one of the more controversial movies of our times. Although it is far from the horror genre that I usually focus on, I'll be talking about the 2004 film The Passion of the Christ. This movie, and specifically the actor playing the lead role, was cursed from the get-go. Mel Gibson ventured into what no other director dared
Daled.
Who's Dale?
to retell the story of Jesus Christ's last 12 hours before his crucifixion. I personally have never seen it because I already know the climax of the movie. Your boy dies.
Spoiler.
And spoiler, sorry. And I think it would be too graphic for me. Movie critics said, quote, "The movie is 126 minutes long, and I would guess that at least 100 of those minutes, maybe more, are concerned specifically and graphically with the details of the torture and death of Jesus."
Oh my god.
This is the most violent film I have ever seen. And Robert just told us that it was the highest rated R movie until Deadpool came out. So, just to put that in reference.
But do we believe him?
Is this facts checked?
It's not. You know it's not.
And to be honest, like I said, I've never watched it. It just felt weird to watch a movie about Jesus' crucifixion. I don't know.
Torture movie.
I never liked the idea of it for some reason.
Basically,
It felt
yeah.
weird. Definitely not my cup of tea. Sorry, Mom. I know you hype up this movie. But I'm just going to stick to the world of fiction films. It's a little too heavy for me to watch a film about Jesus being tortured to death. Anyways, besides the point, from the beginning of production, this film was met with struggles. Jim Caviezel, who played as Jesus, knew exactly how demanding the role would be and was acutely aware of the excessive violence and danger he would be acting out in the stunts. So, during filming, Caviezel suffered from hypothermia as well as pneumonia due to the bitter winter they were filming in. He experienced intense migraines almost daily every time he appeared on set. And he wasn't known to have migraines before, so it just started during the movie. He was the only cast member to go through either ailment, which begs the questions, maybe his role as Jesus Christ was cursed. Maybe some higher power was at play and didn't want the movie produced and was going to do anything to stop it. Maybe a lower power was at work.
Maybe Jesus wanted a recast.
Oh, okay, so Robert just said that the movie is currently number 6 of the...
Highest grossing
gross,
films.
Sorry.
Leah talk.
I struggle, Michelle, I struggle.
Rated R grossing film.
Oh, rated R
Specifically
grossing
rated.
films.
Specifically, see, Michelle can't even get
It
it.
doesn't make the other list.
It was a lot of information thrown at me at once. Sorry, I couldn't retain it all. Okay, so Caviezel's misfortunes didn't stop there from the ailments he had. In fact, they got even worse. During a scene in which he is being whipped, Jesus is being whipped, not the actor.
The actor. When he doesn't get his lines right.
I guess he ends up getting whipped. He was yet again unlucky. He recalls his lash just extended over the board and hit me with such a high velocity that I couldn't breathe. It's like getting the wind knocked out of you. The stinging is so horrific that you can't get air. The actor ended up getting whipped during a stunt. It was a scene in which Jesus was being whipped, but Caviezel ended up getting whipped too. So even the safety precautions production put in place to ensure that no one on the set would be harmed were not enough to keep Caviezel safe. On several occasions.
Why did they use real whips?
Probably the sound, maybe. I don't know.
Do the sound behind the scenes.
Well, I mean, yeah.
So as he trudged around carrying a 150-pound cross during the filming, he dislocated his shoulder.
They wouldn't even give him a hollow cross. They hated your
So
boy.
you would think the set designers would create a cross that weighed a little less to make his life easier.
No.
But no, the cross itself, it was a huge cross if you've seen the movie, but it weighed 150 pounds. So it gets even more bizarre. During this scene, the Sermon on the Mount, Caviezel was... Guess what he was? You guys will not guess this.
I don't even know.
He was struck by lightning.
Motherfucker.
Bitch, I'm not joking.
Motherfucker.
As if that couldn't be taken as a sign from disproving God. Moments later, assistant director Jan Michelini was also struck footsteps away. So if I were Mel Gibson, the director at the time, I might have just called it quits at this point before his lead star ended up getting killed in some freak accident.
Benign.
Like that, he didn't quit either. It was crazy.
Yeah, I know. Crazy.
Some actors are low-key too serious about their roles.
I read something that the assistant director and the actor himself, they both thought it was a direct sign from God. Like, they thought that was a sign.
And they kept going.
But they kept going. Crazy. Maybe they thought
God
it was
said,
like...
work faster.
Or maybe they thought it was like a good sign. I don't know. If I got struck by lightning...
God struck you because he thought you did a great job.
He's like, your shit is...
Pat on the back. He doesn't know how to pat you, so he strikes you with lightning.
Like an over-aggressive dad. Just like, pat!
Oh my god, our dad, whenever he laughs, he comes and like shakes our shoulders aggressively. We're like,
So luckily for Caviezel, that was the extent to which he'd suffer while producing the film. While it does seem like a lot of stuff.
yeah, you're like, that's extent.
it.
Just
That's it.
struck by lightning and whipped a few
Just
times.
just pneumonia, broken shoulder. So once the film was released, both Jim Caviezel and Mel Gibson suffered in terms of their careers. They both kind of just vanished.
I think Mel Gibson, not as much though. I still hear
No,
him.
he's prominent, but most of his more famous movies are from before. While the film received worldwide fame, both men became essentially blackballed from Hollywood. I also thought
Blackballed.
I also thought the word blackballed was... it just means kind of like blacklisted, like people didn't want to work with him anymore. In fact, Caviezel recalls Gibson trying to talk him out of the role only moments after offering it. He said, "You'll never work in this town again." And I also imagine in like a weird like country accent, "You'll never work in this town again." I don't think that was a country accent.
You started the same.
Okay.
If you get Robert to turn around.
Okay. And that's probably why we haven't really heard much from Jim Caviezel since. Just as Mel Gibson predicted, he became typecast as Jesus Christ.
How do you get typecast as Jesus Christ?
Typecast means that everyone, like,
No, I know
you
what
play
it
the
means.
specific role.
I'm just imagining how many Jesus roles are out there that we're like, let's get that guy.
It's the only movie I can think of that shows Jesus' crucifixion. That's the thing. And a lot of people saw it. So he became typecast as Jesus Christ, and no director would be willing to work with an actor that the audience would remember as Jesus. So that is the curse of The Passion of the Christ, and how the film that didn't want to be made came to be. It clearly either didn't want to be made, or it just wanted a new lead.
Or God had a funny way of saying good job.
Apparently, Mel Gibson will be directing a sequel next year in 2021 with
What
Jim
the
Caviezel as the lead once again.
What's gonna happen in the
way.
sequel?
Yeah, so ballsy, I must say. And if I were Caviezel, after everything I endured, I don't think I would want to do
Let's be
a
real,
sequel.
he needs the money.
Maybe, but I don't know. It seems sketch. Like I'm wishing him good luck because it seems like some serious shit is gonna happen.
He's gonna die.
Well, hopefully
it.
not, Michelle.
Called it.
If he does,
It's because
I don't-
Michelle said it.
I don't want it to die or anything, but if he does die, just know it's probably because this curse. This is it. Okay. Anyway, all right, Michelle.
Heard it here first.
You heard it here first, folks.
Also, in reference, today's April 30th, 2020. The movie will come out in 2021. You heard it here first, folks.
Oh, I thought Leah was doing a shout out to me. My birthday's tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, Michelle's birthday's
24.
tomorrow.
I'm gonna be in my mid-20s.
Wow.
Anyway, I'm going to be talking about The Curse of the Poltergeist movie trilogy from the 80s, because there's a new one, I guess. I'm not going to lie, I had not seen the movie before, so I rented it earlier today for 48 hours from Amazon, and it cost $4. I should have just bought it for $8.
Did you watch it for 48 hours?
Of course, no. I thought you were going to say, did you watch it? And I was ready to say, of course. Yeah.
No, she literally just got it today.
Yeah. So I got it so late in the day, I didn't even finish it until 3, and you guys got here at like 4. So
you're kind of close.
I didn't even start my notes until I started the movie.
At least it's fresh on your mind.
That's true. So I also didn't have time to watch the other 2 movies, so
it's okay.
Whatever. Side note, in the beginning of the movie when the little girl is talking on the TV, it is creepy, and then at one part a guy's like pulling skin off of his face, and that was gross.
Ew.
It was in the 80s, so it wasn't the best effects, but I don't like anything gory at all.
Michelle doesn't like anything 80s either, remember?
I know, it was such a struggle. It was actually really good. Until they started showing what was supposed to be like the ghost poltergeist things, and I was like, 80s.
Yeah. Just walking around wearing like a fucking sheet on them.
Yep. No. Okay, so for all of you guys that don't know, I put all of y'all, because on RuneScape I've been saying y'all a lot. I'm trying to be more gender neutral, but it's hard when you're in the habit of saying guys. So for all of y'all that don't know, Poltergeist is a supernatural movie that came out in the 1980s. It's basically about a family who begins to experience paranormal disturbances in their house that was built on a cemetery. Many people believe that the trilogy is cursed because there's been several deaths of people who are associated with the film, including 2 of the younger actors in it. So this is like a fairly well-known curse, and there was even an episode of True Hollywood Story dedicated to it. I wanted to watch that, but as I said, I finished the movie at 3-something, and you guys got here at 4. So I'm going to try and put these all in the order of like when they happened, kind of. Like, I think I did it in order of the trilogy. Like, people only in the first movie, people in the second movie, people who were in all of them. Whatever. So, the first person I'm going to talk about is Dominique Dunne. Or, I think it's Dunne. It's D-U-N-N-E.
Yeah, Dunne.
Okay. So, Dominique was only 22 when she was killed by her ex-boyfriend. Yeah. Fucking crazy.
Crazy guy?
Yeah, he's...
Domestic abuse? Or like
Yeah. Anyone gets killed by a significant other. So, hers is actually going to be the longest story I talk about. Because I wanted to put her last because of that, but also she was only in the first movie, so it made more sense chronologically.
Okay.
So this happened a year after she was cast as the teenager Dana in the Poltergeist movie, and it was her first feature film, and it happened only months after the movie was released.
That's sad.
Yeah. So Dominique...
How old was she, you said?
She was 22.
22.
Oh, shit, that's
It's like
how old we
she
are
died...
already.
Yeah.
What?
She died like 19 days before her birthday.
Oh, no way.
Hey, it's 29 days before my birthday.
Trying to relate to her.
Hopefully not.
Okay. So Dominique met her boyfriend, John Thomas Sweeney, at a party in 1981, and after only a few weeks of dating, they moved into a 1-bedroom West Hollywood home together. The relationship soon turned abusive because John was very possessive and jealous. At one point, John reportedly yanked out handfuls of her hair by the roots during a fight.
Oh.
Yep. After this, she left him to stay at her mom's house, but eventually went back home to him. A month later, during another argument, John grabbed her by the throat and threw her to the ground before beginning to strangle her. A friend was sleeping over and heard what they described as loud gagging noises, and Dominique told the friend that John had been trying to kill her, and he denied it.
What did the friend think?
I don't know if the friend saw it. It didn't really go that much into detail. If, like, the friend walked in after it happened, and Dominic was like, yo, he just tried to fucking kill me. Because I don't know how the fuck he could deny it if you walk in and see it, and he's like, oh, I didn't do that. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, so he denied it and told Dominique to come back to bed. And she pretended it was all okay and went, but later that night she snuck out the bathroom window. She got into her car and started it, but John heard it starting and came out and jumped on the hood so she couldn't get away. But then he jumped off, probably to go to the window or something, and she drove off.
Oh.
I don't know if her friend was just inside, like, do I leave? Or...
I know. It's the same night.
Yeah, it is. So she stayed with her mom again for a few more days, and she broke up with John over the phone. Once he moved out of their place, she had the locks changed and moved back in by herself. On October 30th, 1982, they had broken up for a few weeks when Dominique was at home rehearsing for a miniseries she had been cast in with fellow actor David Packer. Dominique was on the phone with a friend when John had the operator cut into their conversation. Operators did that.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah. I didn't know there was a thing you could call an operator and be like, I want in on this. And they're like, sick.
Wow.
Yeah, but she
Just
recognized
connected
him and told her friend, like, oh, that's John. Let's just hang up to get rid of him. And it was super creepy. 10 minutes later, he showed up to her home. So she agreed to talk to him on the porch while David waited inside, but they soon began to argue. David said he heard smacking noises and a thud. He called the police, but was told that the home was out of their jurisdiction.
Wait,
What
David
the
is who?
David is the actor that
the
she was
actor.
rehearsing with.
Oh, so she was with somebody.
Yeah.
They were rehearsing lines when he showed up, and he called the police, and they said that the home was out of their jurisdiction. It's like, what do you even do when that happens?
What?
Yeah.
That's-
It's bullshit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he then called a friend and told his friend that if he was found dead, John Sweeney was the person who killed him, because he was freaked out as well. After that, he left out the back door and walked towards the driveway, and he saw John leaning over Dominique in some bushes and trying to resuscitate her. This part is a little, like, I don't know the correct order that happened, because on Wikipedia, it's all from, like, the actor friend's point of view, and then a different page is all about John's point of view, so if the order's mixed up and you realize, sorry,
The details are a little jaded.
Yeah.
It happens.
it's kind of like the same details, but everyone's putting them in different orders, so I don't know what happened when. But yeah, so he saw him trying to resuscitate Dominique, and John told David to call the police. They showed up this time, I guess. I don't know. Probably because
That's
he was
fucking
like,
weird.
no, someone's like dead. We actually need you. And they're like, oh yeah, okay, suddenly you're my jurisdiction.
on the way.
On the way. While David was calling the police, or maybe not while, John later said that he then ran inside and took 2 bottles of pills to try and overdose. But later, I think people said that there was no evidence that he did that. The police actually came this time, as I said, and they were greeted by John with his hands up saying, I killed my girlfriend and I tried to kill myself.
Oh.
He claimed later that he couldn't even remember what the fight was about, just being on top of her and having his hands around her throat.
Oh my god, what a psycho too. He was trying to resuscitate her after.
Yep. So Dominique was transported to a hospital, and she was actually placed on life support since her heart had stopped, but I guess they brought her back somehow. Over the course of a few days, multiple brain scans were performed on her and showed that she had no brain activity due to the lack of oxygen.
This is a bummer, Michelle.
Yeah, I know. It is. I didn't think it was going to be like fucking young adults getting killed because of domestic violence.
Yeah,
it took a
it's
very sad
fucking
turn.
I like Brandy in mine more.
Okay, I know. I'm sorry.
Great Bambino.
It is a
Jacoby
little lighter. So, unfortunately, she never regained consciousness and was taken off life support at the request of her parents on November 4th, 1982.
Dang.
That's sad as hell, bro.
It
Wow, I
is.
feel. We should have started with yours because I feel really bummed right now.
I
It's the
know.
same age as me.
We'll make jokes at the end. So, John Sweeney was immediately arrested and charged with attempted murder because at the time she wasn't
was
dead.
still alive,
yeah.
yeah.
But it was changed to first-degree murder when she
good.
ultimately ended up dying. He pleaded not guilty because he's the worst.
They never plead guilty.
I know. He did, however, admit later on that he did argue with her that night that he first tried strangling her and the friend heard the gagging noise, and he was charged with assault with intent to do great bodily harm, but he said he didn't assault her and he was just trying to keep her from leaving. I don't know.
By strangling her?
He's like, don't leave.
By depriving her of oxygen.
I know, just fucking idiot.
Jeez, Brandy.
Sorry.
So John's trial began in August of 1983. He testified that he had no intentions of hurting... This is all from his point of view, by the way.
Well, yeah.
His dumbass point of view. He had no intentions of hurting her that night, and he had gone over because they were in the process of reconciling. According to him, they'd been talking daily about moving back in, getting married, and starting a family. He says that when he showed up, Dominique told him she had no intentions of getting back together and was leading him on, and he just lost it. Despite him saying how he couldn't remember attacking her till she was basically dead, the medical examiner who performed her autopsy said that she had been strangled for at least 3 minutes and maybe up to 7.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
He had full intentions to kill
Oh yeah,
her.
no, this gave him plenty of time to realize what he was doing and snap out of it to save her life.
5,
but
10 seconds, okay, and then he stops, what, 3 minutes? That
No,
is...
at least 3
long
minutes.
As you strangle somebody, that you have to be very
It's
aware
brutal.
of what you're doing.
Yeah. So, prosecutors wanted to have one of John's ex-girlfriends testify at the trial as she had been a victim of his abuse, but the judge granted the defense's request to dismiss her as it was prejudicial. But I feel like stuff like think that is relevant. If you have a
It's-
history of hurting women, it's kind of relevant when you kill a woman.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I guess it could be prejudicial because it automatically paints that picture. I mean, though,
True.
even though
it should paint the picture, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's just like his right.
If he
not to
had
have
been
it.
innocent, it would look
Yeah,
really bad.
It would.
Yeah.
But he
It's
wasn't.
a whole ass process.
Yeah.
I watch SVU a lot.
But it was kind of bullshit because even while she was like, I don't know if she was like in the judge's chamber talking to them about it and he overheard or what, but while she was testifying, not in front of the jury, just to see if it'd be admissible, John actually became so mad that he jumped out of his seat and ran towards the room where she was. He had to be grabbed and subdued by 6 people and handcuffed back to his chair where he started to cry and apologized.
Wait,
What
did
the
she see him run after?
I don't know.
Imagine
It was
how
kind of
terrifying that would've been
confusing.
for her.
I don't know if she was like in the judge's chamber and maybe like they could hear, but she didn't want to see him. I think that could be likely. She just didn't want to see
and
him.
He knew that she was there, and he
Yeah,
tried
and
to
her-
go
he, like,
intimidate her.
I think he like broke her nose and like her lung got punctured or something.
Jeez.
Just like a bunch of shit. He's an awful human being. The judge also refused to allow Dominique's mom and family to testify because all their statements about John being abusive were hearsay. So the defense basically
What are
lost
testimonies
everything
then?
they
What are
have.
testimonies?
I
I don't
know.
understand why they use anything relevant.
Yeah, can't you kind of use that to speak towards character? I asked Brandy. You watch more SVU than me.
You could, but I guess they would say that's prejudicial too,
Yeah.
because they would.
What isn't
make 'em
prejudicial
look
here?
really, like-
Yeah, but if it's a negative somebody's doing, then if you're just reporting back exactly what happened, that's
Then-
just facts.
Then again, back in the 80s, I feel like they were more harsh.
Oh yeah, and back in the 80s, they probably were just like, well, she might have led him on, so
Yeah.
didn't she kind of deserve to be killed?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
The
They're
funky
more harsh to the
80s.
victims.
The
The
funky
funky
80s. So the defense attorney also requested that John not be tried as first-degree murder since the murder wasn't planned. This request was, of course, approved. This judge is the worst. The jury was told to consider the charges as second-degree murder and manslaughter. So on September 21st, 1983, the jury acquitted John of second-degree murder, but found him guilty of voluntary manslaughter and assault for the first strangling attack.
Didn't you get for the
The
first one?
first one, not the second one?
He was found for manslaughter for the actual murder, and
You
then
can
an
get
additional
manslaughter
assault
for-
charge.
Oh, okay, yeah. I can
Oh,
understand
okay.
what you mean.
Sorry, should have worded it back.
Okay, I was about to. Be
But
really
he
mad.
wasn't charged with any murder, not even second degree murder.
Can't you get
Just
manslaughter for like running a person over in your car on accident?
On accident.
Yeah, that'd be,
You saw you-
that'd be
is-
involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah, involuntary manslaughter.
And this was voluntary manslaughter.
if
Yeah.
you were strangling someone with your hands.
I know. I'm just asking. That's
yeah,
what I
no.
got.
It's like feels
For
pretty
7
voluntary.
minutes?
Yeah.
Why was that just not? Why is that not just considered first or second degree murder?
First degree is when it's planned. Second
Yeah,
degree.
it's-
He should have
you
been
have
charged
to
with second
prove-
degree.
He should have at
With
least been charged as second,
first
but it
degree
seems
murder, you
planned.
have to prove intent. Secondary, I don't remember.
Secondary is what happened here, but he didn't get charged with.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like you
I
were
think-
planning it, but you still did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone basically considers it like an injustice, how it ended up. So on November 7th, he was sentenced to 6 years in prison for the manslaughter, plus an extra 6 months for the assault.
Just 6 years for strangling his ex-girlfriend?
Yep, and then he was released for good behavior after only serving 3 years, 7 months, and
Shut
27 days. Her family was outraged and considered this injustice. A year after her death, her mom founded Justice for Homicide Victims, a victims group to help others. And this motherfucker's just
He's just out
out
free?
there. I was searching online and somebody thought that they found his Facebook, and I was like, I don't really know.
Let's
how to-
troll
Well,
him.
because he
No, I'm just
changed his
kidding.
name, so it could just be a random dude, and we're trolling this dude.
That is so messed up. Only 3 years for killing somebody? I
Yeah.
don't understand.
And it's kind of fucking crazy because the judge later once the jury read out their verdict, the judge criticized them and said that they should have charged him with second degree murder and kind of scolded them. But the jury then went back and was like, blamed the judge, and they're like, you're only blaming us because everyone's criticizing you because you wouldn't let anyone fucking testify. If we knew about the ex-girlfriend, we would have put him away for murder.
yeah, he's just
they
trying
thought-
to save his own ass.
Yeah, no, they thought it was just like a one-off thing, like a really awful thing that this guy did, but he didn't have a history with it and all this stuff. And they found he had a history, and they were like, oh, fuck, we would have convicted him for more.
Yeah, he was just heating up for all those years, and he reached his boiling point.
Yeah, just all around bad times, basically. So, moving on from that awful one, they don't get much better, because there's quite a few people who died.
Yeah, don't they get younger?
One person is younger.
Oh, Michelle.
So the sequel for Poltergeist, named Poltergeist 2, The Other Side, was released on May 23rd, 1986. I haven't seen this movie, so all my information I just got from online. The character Henry Kane in this movie is played by actor Julian Beck. Julian Beck was diagnosed with stomach cancer in 1983 and died of it on September 14th, 1985 at the age of 60, before the movie could even be released.
Oh, they didn't get to see their movie?
Mm-mm. I was reading about him, too,
sad.
and he sounded like a bicon. It said that he, like, was with his... I don't know if it was his wife or, like, girlfriend of a long time. They were in an open relationship, and they even shared romantic partners with this one actor, and I was like, you guys are cool.
The 80s.
Funky 80s.
The funky 80s, my guys.
So, the next death associated with the Poltergeist franchise is that of actor Will Sampson. He played Taylor in the second Poltergeist movie, and he died at age 53 on June 3rd, 1987. He passed away from a long illness caused by a chronic condition he had. And I was reading about it, and it's pretty crazy, because your dude is 6'7", I guess.
Oh, shit.
He's very tall. And he, like, because of this illness, he went from 260 pounds to, I think, 140 pounds.
Aww.
So just imagine someone 6'7" and how fucking small they would look.
That's sad.
I also felt kind of bad for him.
Damn, Michelle, yours is a big bummer.
It is a big bummer. And then also, I was going to mention racial stereotyping for actors, because he was Native American, and looking at his roles, they were like Native Chief something, Indian in training, and I was like, oh, funky 80s.
Yeah.
In a bad way.
Oh, funky 80s.
Funky
Oh,
80s.
no.
Actress Zelda Rubinstein, who I'm guessing that's how you say her name, seems right. Zelda's also a cool name. She played the medium Tangina? I didn't actually hear her say it.
Tangerine?
No.
No.
Tangerine.
It looks like Tangina.
Tangina Barrows in all 3 films. She died at the age of 76 in 2010 after she never recovered from a heart attack she had several months later. Most people don't consider her death to be related to the curse, but I just wanted to mention it anyway.
It's notable.
It's notable.
What, it happened, what,
It happened
30
a
years
really
later?
long time after.
I was going to say, what if she had the heart attack? It would have made more sense for the curse if she had the heart attack in the 80s and she never recovered.
For 30 years.
For 30 years.
Yeah. She was like 4'3". So I would love to see her compared to the 6'7" guy.
That's fun.
Tiny.
Yeah, she was tiny. I was watching it and I thought all the other actors were just really tall, and I looked her up. So the last death I'll be getting into is that of Heather O'Rourke. She played the youngest daughter, Carol Ann, in all 3 of the Poltergeist movies, and she was only 12 years old when she died in 1988
A baby.
in San Diego. She died in San Diego. So, on January 31st of 1988, she began to have flu-like symptoms, and the next day she collapsed at home and was taken to a hospital. So, and the hospital was in El Cajon. That's why I want to mention the San Diego, so I could mention more specifically. They were driving to East County. And while on the way, she went into cardiac arrest.
Oh,
A
man.
12-year-old going into cardiac arrest. That's insane.
That is super.
Yep.
Family was probably freaking out.
Oh, yeah. But paramedics were able to restart her heart. She was then air flighted to the Children's Hospital of San Diego, and they discovered that part of her intestine had inflated to 4 inches in diameter.
That's pretty
Oh,
big.
now that you actually hold up your hand, that's bigger than I thought it was. Whew. And a 12-year-old's body?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Damn. How
So-
did they not notice that? Like, I feel like her stomach would get bigger.
I think it, just happened, super fucking suddenly.
Oh.
Just
I don't know.
inflated.
Kind of
Yeah.
like an appendix burst. It just kind of happens.
Yeah, a little. So, she was taken into emergency surgery to repair an acute bowel obstruction, but unfortunately, she died 2 hours into the surgery. Her cause of death was ruled as congenital stenosis of the intestine, complicated by septic shock. I tried my best to look into what that means, because big words. And basically, I think it was a severe bowel obstruction that was present when she was born, and it became infected, which caused her to go into septic shock, and the septic shock then brought on the cardiac arrest.
Whoa, so building up for 12 years?
Yeah, it probably wasn't growing or anything, and then it just randomly got infected.
Wow.
I don't know how stuff like that gets
After the
infected.
Poltergeist.
Yeah, after all the movies ended.
Wait, what year did she die?
She died in 1988.
In the movie, when did the movie series end?
You know, I didn't actually search that. I should, because the second one came out in 1986.
So we can assume she died right after.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That definitely seems like the biggest curse of all of these.
Yeah.
What the?
I didn't realize how violent the first one was going to be, though. The 22-year-old, that fucked me up.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking to see when the movies came out. Oh, the third one came out in 1988. So it came out June 10th, 1988, and she passed away January 31st. So she didn't even get to see it. That's really sad. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because actually I did read, it was barely a month after her 12th birthday.
Fuck.
Oh. Sorry guys, I don't know how accurate my facts are, because I just read something that said that she might have had flu-like symptoms before that she recovered from and then came back. So maybe they did notice this thing was up. But that's just how it all
Maybe they just thought it was something else.
Yeah, that's how it all
Obviously, they
ended
didn't
up,
think it was as big as a deal as it turned out to be.
Yeah, no. I should have looked more to the third movie, I didn't even think about that. So, there's a lot of rumors that have gone around about other actors in the franchise dying, even one that claims all the main characters have since died, but these are, like, mostly untrue. It's just the ones I've mentioned. Maybe there's, like, some extras.
That's a good amount of them, though.
That is a very large amount. And I also only talked about the original movies, but there was a remake a couple years ago, and the set was supposedly haunted, but I thought I would save that for another time.
Did you look into if any of those actors passed away?
No, none of them have died.
Okay.
Not yet.
It was sad. Yeah, not yet. Fuck. It was sad because I was looking up the actor who plays the little boy, and they said something on his Wikipedia about how he is the only surviving actor who played a child in that family, and he has also outlived both of the other people in the movie who were like,
What?
I don't know, it just made me sad.
Yeah,
I was like, don't
sad.
compare him to all these children who died.
Yeah. I wonder if he feels like waiting for something to happen to him.
Maybe. It's
Damn.
fucking crazy.
Have you guys, instead of doing the Passion of the Christ, I was considering doing the Omen. Did you read anything about the Omen?
I didn't know
I can't recall most of it, but there was a part of it. So the Omen's like another scary movie, an older scary film that's supposedly cursed, and just one part of it I wanted to mention that stuck out with me. In the movie, one of the characters, I guess he is like beheaded. I don't even know how, to be honest. And I think just a few years later, that's how he ends up dying in real life. But yeah, it'd be interesting to do another one about haunted films. I know supposedly like the Exorcist, the Exorcist or the Exorcism. I always mix them up.
The Exorcist.
The Exorcist. I've always said that since the beginning of the podcast.
The Exorcism.
Literally like the first episode.
But I've heard too that The Exorcist is supposedly cursed. There's a bunch of scary movies that are
there's a few
supposedly
out there.
cursed.
There are.
The Omen. They're definitely like the ones I feel from the 80s are more cursed. I don't know what. The funky 80s. I don't know what they were doing. Maybe they were practicing like witchcraft, something.
I just saw Sinister yesterday.
Oh, that movie's scary.
I forgot how spooky it is.
That movie made me so scared when we lived at our sister's house. Every time I would use the bathroom and go back to the room, I'd have to turn the hall light on and look down the stairs to make sure I didn't see the sinister guy standing there. Aww. He scared me so bad.
I'm trying to remember what he looked like. Was that like the demon in the dream?
He had long black hair and he'd wear a suit.
Yeah,
I'm not thinking of the right thing.
You don't want to see him. It's like he's scary.
I do want to see him. Brandy, pull him up. I need to see him so then I have an excuse to post him on Instagram if he looks worth it.
Another spooky thing. I watched The Ring
a
couple days ago.
I remember that.
For the first time in years, like 10 years, expecting to be really scary. And my boyfriend wouldn't watch it with me because I guess he's too scared out by movies that have little girls with long hair. Like he's never seen The Grudge and he's never seen The Ring, but he refuses to because something about them like really scares him. And he also doesn't.
Well, no, it's more because of like his mom. His mom's that type like you open a portal.
Oh yeah,
he is.
It just kind of sticks with you.
Yeah.
You grow up hearing that shit, so he's like, yeah, I'd rather not.
Yeah, and I guess in the movie the part that supposedly like could haunt you or could curse you is if you watch the film when they show like her put the tape in. If you watch the tape.
I try not to watch it.
In The Ring, I watch it all. I don't even fucking blink. I'm just like mesmerized.
Damn.
Gross.
Not gross, but it's just. I mean, it's like such a key part of the movie. But yeah, he wouldn't watch it. But it was pretty scary, I guess. The part that freaks me out the most is the end. Like that's where I got really scared. Spoiler alert! In the end of The Ring, they think that the boyfriend, or I guess the baby daddy, because they're not together. The baby daddy, the mom, they think that the curse is over. That they freed Samara, which is the little evil girl. That's
the little evil
girl that's at the bottom of the well and living in the videotape.
I'm gonna start saying that to our nieces whenever they're
the
being
little
bad.
evil girl.
Like the little evil girl.
I don't know what else to call her. Possessed.
Her
No,
name?
she wasn't even Samara. Okay.
Samara
They thought that they pretty
Samara.
much like released her, and the mom realizes that oh no, she's actually like the tapes are still out there, people are still dying, and right as she's like trying to call the baby daddy and like skirting on over trying to save him, his TV's turned to static and he's like, oh, he's all alone. He's like, what the? And then it shows the well, the ominous well, nothing there. He's staring.
And you're like, run, bitch.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously you know what happens. You see a creepy hand come out. You see the head, and slowly she starts to like crawl over the well. And then she starts making her way to the front of the TV.
Ew.
And the worst part ever right here. She reaches the front of the TV, and then she starts to come out of the TV. She like sticks her hands out and she starts crawling out of the TV.
Ugh.
Oh, dude, it's terrifying. So, also at that part when they show her, so in the movie they have like a cute little actor when she's just Samora before she's dead, but they end up casting a different actor to play the dead her. I mean, you could tell if you watch it. This person's like versus the other, so the main girl Samora, she's like 5 foot. This person, I swear, they're like at least like 5'8". Like,
Well,
they're
it's
built.
probably an adult.
Yeah,
Because they don't want a
and-
child to
and
traumatize them.
They're so terrifying looking. I didn't look into who the actor is. I don't think it's the girl who plays Samora.
Well, I don't know, but I
originally.
know that the little girl, maybe the good, like the alive little girl, she's the girl who voices Lilo in Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, fun fact.
Yeah.
But yeah, that movie. If you guys are quarantined right now and you want some good movies,
It's on Netflix now.
The Ring.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I was just using. I'm not gonna say which site. I don't want to get in trouble for pirating ours.
CIA is always listening to
Sorry,
us.
CIA. Had
Them
to do it
and
too.
the Turkish marine biologists, our main fan base.
Yeah, shouts out to the Turkish marine biologists. We know you guys are number one. Okay, well, anything else you guys want to add?
All right, well, happy birthday to me. And
Don't get cursed.
yeah, don't get cursed out there. Sorry I sound muffled, my mask is thick. It's a thick boy. If you want to follow us on Instagram, it's Tales from Beyond Podcast. Our email is talesfromthebeyondpodcast@gmail.com. Our Twitter is spooky_beyond. I was going to say, do you remember that video of the Jonas Brothers where he's like, Facebook, Twatter?
Yeah, I remember.
Classic. Follow us on Twitter. So, how do I usually end this?
We'll see you guys next week.
Talk to y'all next week. I'm a y'all person now.
Goodbye, y'all.
Goodbye, y'all.
Bye.
Okay.